Hi everyone, this is Lety. Welcome back to our quiet little corner. Take a deep breath, let it out slowly, and just be here for a moment. Maybe you've had a long day, maybe your mind feels crowded with too many thoughts, or maybe you've been carrying so much lately that you forgot what silence sounds like. If that's you, you're not alone because I've been there too. There was a time when I thought peace would come when everything around me finally slowed down, when my inbox was empty, when my schedule was clear, when everyone stopped asking for something. But the truth is, the noise never really stopped. It just moved from the outside to the inside. And that's when I learned about something called mental minimalism. It's not about owning fewer things. It's about thinking fewer unnecessary thoughts. It's about creating space inside your mind to breathe, to notice, to feel alive. Again, I remember one morning, I was sitting at my desk with a cup of tea, sunlight spilling softly over my notebook, and I realized something simple but profound. I wasn't really there. My body was in that chair, but my mind was everywhere else, running through unfinished conversations, replaying old mistakes, worrying about things that hadn't even happened yet. And in that moment, I saw it clearly. My mind had become cluttered, just like an overfilled room with things that no longer served me. So I decided to start cleaning not my house, but my thoughts. You see, minimalism isn't just about white walls or tidy shelves. It's a way of seeing life, choosing what matters and letting go of what doesn't. When we practice mental minimalism, we learn to declutter our minds, to simplify our emotions, to slow down enough to hear what's real beneath the noise. And in that quiet space, we find clarity, we find ourselves. But let's start from the beginning. We live in a world that tells us more is better. More achievements, more followers, more plans, more everything. We are praised for being busy, for multitasking, for doing 10 things at once. Yet somehow, despite having more than any generation before us, we feel emptier than ever because we mistake full for fulfilled. We think adding more will make us feel whole. But sometimes the peace we're searching for is hidden beneath the pile of everything we've collected. Mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually, mental minimalism asks a gentle but powerful question. What if I already have enough? What if instead of chasing more, we start releasing the old stories that keep looping in our heads? The need to please everyone, the fear of missing out, the guilt of resting. Because when we hold onto everything, we have no hands left to hold what truly matters. Think about it this way. If your room is full of clutter, no matter how beautiful new furniture you buy, it will still feel cramped. The same goes for the mind. If your thoughts are tangled in worry and comparison, no amount of motivation or productivity hacks will bring peace. Peace comes from space, from the willingness to clear what no longer belongs. So how do we practice this kind of minimalism? It begins with awareness. Awareness is the first broom we hold in our hands. Start noticing your thoughts the same way you'd look at clothes in your closet. Some fit you perfectly. They make you feel strong, inspired and comfortable in your own skin. Others are too tight, too heavy, outdated, but you keep them because they remind you of who you used to be. Mental minimalism means saying thank you to those thoughts and letting them go because they served their purpose once, but not anymore. For example, maybe you're still carrying the belief that you have to be productive every single moment to be worthy. That's a piece of mental clutter. Or maybe you keep replaying that one mistake you made years ago, afraid it defines you forever. That's another piece. Or maybe you keep comparing your timeline to someone else's, feeling like you're behind. That's clutter too. These thoughts take up space you could be using to create, to love, to rest, to simply exist in peace. So ask yourself gently, what thoughts no longer fit me? What beliefs make me feel small? What am I ready to let go of today? You don't have to empty everything at once. Just start with one shelf of your mind, one corner of your heart. Maybe it's forgiving yourself for not knowing better back then. Maybe it's releasing the need to explain yourself to everyone. Maybe it's finally saying, I am enough. That's where mental minimalism begins. When I started practicing it, I noticed something interesting. Silence used to scare me because when everything got quiet, my thoughts got louder. But over time, I learned that silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. It's in the quiet moments that our real voice begins to whisper, hey, you don't have to do it all, you don't have to carry it all. And slowly, that whisper becomes your new home, a calm place inside you, untouched by noise. There's a Japanese concept called ma. It means the space between things. It's the pause in music. That makes the melody beautiful. It's the silence between words that gives meaning to what's said. Mental minimalism is a kind of May for the mind. It's the space that allows your thoughts to breathe. Without that space, everything becomes noise, but with it, even ordinary life starts to sound like music. Sometimes people think minimalism means losing things, but the truth is, it's about gaining clarity. When you remove the noise, what remains is what truly matters. You realize you don't need to chase every opportunity because not every door is meant for you. You don't need to reply to every message instantly because not everything needs your energy. You don't need to be everywhere because peace lives right where you are. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you plant too many seeds, nothing grows well. Everything competes for sunlight and water, but if you choose a few meaningful plants and care for them deeply, your garden flourishes. That's mental minimalism one. It's not about doing less for the sake of laziness. It's about doing less so that what remains can thrive. In practice, it looks like this. When you wake up, instead of scrolling through notifications, you take 1 minute to breathe. When you feel overwhelmed, instead of adding more to your to-do list, you remove one thing. When your heart feels heavy, instead of escaping into noise, you sit with yourself and ask, what am I really feeling? And when you catch your mind comparing or worrying, you gently guide it back, like cleaning a desk piece by piece. You clear your mental space until you start to see the beauty underneath. And once you experience that clarity, you'll never want to go back to clutter because peace is addictive in the most beautiful way. It doesn't shout, it whispers, but it fills every corner of you. Here's something I've learned. Clarity isn't something you find one day and keep forever. It's something you create every day. Each choice, each breath is a chance to choose peace over noise, even now. As you're listening, you're practicing mental minimalism. You're slowing down. You're making space. You're letting quiet in, and that's powerful. What minimalism teaches us that simplicity isn't the absence of depth. It's the presence of focus. It's choosing to pour yourself fully into what matters most instead of spreading thin across everything. It's choosing one heartfelt yes over 1,000 half-hearted maybes. And when you live that way, life starts to align itself naturally. You begin to feel lighter, freer, and surprisingly more abundant. Because when you stop trying to hold everything, your hands are finally free to receive what's meant for you. Maybe you're wondering, does mental minimalism mean avoiding people or responsibilities? Not at all. It's not isolation, it's intention. You still love, you still care, you still work and dream, but you do it with awareness, without losing yourself in the noise. You learn to say no to what drains you, so you can say yes to what truly nourishes you. You stop chasing approval and start building inner alignment. You stop filling every silence with words and start letting peace speak for you. And something beautiful happens. When your mind becomes lighter, the world feels kinder. You begin to notice small things again. The way sunlight dances on your window, the sound of rain on the roof, the warmth of tea between your hands. You start to feel life instead of thinking about it. You come home to yourself. But there's a quote I love. You don't need more time, you need fewer distractions. And I think that captures the heart of this episode, because clarity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less, but with full presence. When you stop running in every direction, you finally see where you're meant to go. If you're listening to this while cleaning your space or walking quietly, maybe this is your sign to start a new kind of decluttering, not just the drawers or the shelves, but your inner world. Delete that one anxious thought that's been looping all week. Unsubscribe from the pressure to be perfect. Unfollow the voice inside that tells you you're not enough, and instead, keep what matters. Kindness, gratitude, small joys, honest rest, gentle purpose. That's all you need. That's more than enough. Because at the end of the day, clarity is not about having a quiet world outside. It's about having peace within when you can sit in stillness and feel okay. When your mind is spacious and your heart feels light, that's freedom. That's what more space, less noise really means. So if you take one thing from this episode, let it be this: you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to stop trying so hard. You are allowed to clear your mind and not feel guilty for it. You don't need to fill every silence. Sometimes silence is where the healing happens. Because the quieter you become, the more you can hear your own truth. And maybe that's what life has been trying to tell you all along. That peace isn't somewhere far away. It's here, waiting for you to make space for it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for choosing to grow gently. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need a little more space and a little less noise in their life. And as always, remember, your softness is not weakness. Your stillness is not laziness. Your calm is your power. Until next time, stay gentle, stay brave, and never forget, peace begins within you.